You wake up to pain, not the sharp kind. This is the dull, heavy ache that never leaves. Your knees crack before you even stand. Your lower back screams, but you don't have time to complain. Because in this world, weakness isn't allowed to exist. You're a rikishi, a sumo wrestler. And every morning begins with proof that your body still belongs to the sport, not to you. 4 a.m., the air inside the heya, the sumo stable, is thick with heat and the smell of boiled rice. You bow to the floor before stepping into the training ring, knowing that even one mistake could earn you punishment. You're at the bottom of the hierarchy. That means you clean, cook, and serve before you ever train. You wash the sweat-soaked clothes of the seniors, you polish their belt clasps, you carry their bath water, and when you finally get your turn in the ring, you're already exhausted. A senior wrestler charges at you, twice your experience, twice your power. He slams you into the clay, the impact shaking your teeth. The coach doesn't stop him. In sumo, this is education. You drag yourself up again because if you stay down too long, you're accused of disrespect. Pain becomes language. Endurance becomes respect. After hours of drills, you eat and eat and eat. You consume more calories in one sitting than most people do in a day. 10,000, sometimes more. It's not indulgence, it's obligation. You force it down because size equals survival. The bigger you are, the harder you are to move. But each bite costs you breath. Your stomach expands faster than your ambition. You tell yourself this is strength, but your body disagrees. You wonder what happens to wrestlers who can't keep the weight. You've seen them, leaner men who vanish from the stable after a losing streak. No one speaks their names. In this world, disappearing quietly is the same as failing loudly. You think the session is over? It's not. After eating, you go back to the ring. The seniors practice throws while you become the dummy, literally. Every fall leaves a mark that will bruise by nightfall. Someone once said sumo is a dance with gravity, but gravity doesn't dance, it crushes. And tomorrow you'll wake up to the same ache, the same ritual, the same silent expectation that you'll endure again. You've already trained, eaten, and been thrown to the floor a dozen times, but your day has only begun. Inside the heya, you don't have a name anymore. You're Deshi, the apprentice. Every move you make is a reminder that you exist for someone else's rank, not your own. There's no privacy here. You sleep inches away from the same men who slammed you into the ground. No phones, no late night music, only the rhythmic sound of snoring and the creak of wooden floors. If you whisper too loud, a senior might hear. And in this world, silence is safer than honesty. You think about home, but calling family costs permission. You think about quitting, but there's nowhere to go. Your identity is wrapped in the belt around your waist. Take it off. And who are you? When a senior passes, you lower your head until your neck burns. You serve him first at every meal. You wash his back in the communal bath. It's called keiko, discipline, but sometimes it feels like control. He calls you lazy. You smile. He slaps the back of your head for smiling wrong. You still smile, because in sumo, the line between respect and fear isn't drawn, it's felt. The streets outside look alive, crowds, laughter, neon lights. But you're not part of that world. You move only when the stable master allows it. A single rule, no walking alone, no fast food, no relationships. You live for the ring and the ranking sheets, and those sheets decide if you're worth remembering. You hear rumors about the wrestlers who couldn't handle the rules. Some vanished overnight, others broke curfew and were expelled in silence. No one dares ask where they went. It makes you wonder, if you disappeared, would anyone in this room even speak your name? Tomorrow you'll bow again, you'll serve again, you'll fight again. Because that's what being a sumo wrestler means. Obedience wrapped in pride, pain hidden behind ritual. The world finally sees you now. Months of silence and sweat lead to this single moment, the tournament. Your name is printed on the program, your photo on the board. People cheer as you step into the ring. They think you're living a dream, but they don't know what you've traded for that cheer. They see glory, you feel gravity. Each bout lasts seconds, but each second feels endless. One mistake, one slip of footing, and weeks of training vanish. Lose too often, and your rank collapses, along with your salary, your food, even your place to sleep. Victory feeds your pride. Defeat empties your stomach. You bow to your opponent, to the referee, to the gods, then limp back to a locker room that smells of liniment and fear. Your body is supposed to be your weapon, but now it's a battlefield. Every knee crack echoes through the arena. Your ankles complain with every stomp. You tape your wrists until they look mechanical, because painkillers only hide the surface. The weight you worked so hard to gain now crushes your lungs. You climb stairs slower each month, yet you're expected to bow deeper, smile wider, and pretend it's tradition, not torment. You dress in silk robes that cost more than a family's rent, but you own none of it. Sponsors feed the image, not the person. You must look strong even when you can barely breathe. The master watches from the side, expression unreadable. You know what he's thinking. You're only as valuable as your next win. Your opponent's foot slips. You have 1 second to react. You push, twist, slam. The crowd roars, but you win, but your shoulder tears mid-throw. You bow anyway. In sumo, showing pain is the real loss. You wonder what happens when the crowd stops cheering, when your ranking drops low enough that no one remembers your name. Where do the old champions go? You've seen them, walking slower, breathing harder, still pretending they do it all again. They say it's worth it for honor, but honor doesn't pay hospital bills. Tomorrow you'll tape your shoulder tighter, wrap your knees again, and step back into the ring. Because leaving is harder than losing. When the cheering stops, silence feels heavier than any opponent. You spent your whole life inside that circle of clay, and now you stand outside it wondering who you are without the belt. Your body remembers everything the crowd forgets. Each joint stiffens before sunrise. Each step reminds you of the price of every win. You still wake up early. Habit. But the stable feels smaller now, quieter. The young wrestlers move past you in lines, bowing politely, and you realize you become what you used to fear, the senior everyone avoids eye contact with. The chores are no longer yours to do, but the memories stay. The smell of steam, the sting of falls, the endless cycle of obedience. You thought freedom would feel lighter. It doesn't. The weight is still there, just not the kind you can lose by training. The sport gave you purpose, but it also took time, health, and sometimes even family. You missed birthdays, weddings, whole seasons of life because the ring was the only place you were allowed to exist. Some wrestlers open restaurants serving the same food they once ate to gain size. They smile for pictures with fans who still remember their names. But behind those smiles, there's always a quiet question. Was it worth it? For every champion, there are dozens who left with nothing but scars and memories. In sumo, there's no retirement plan, only the hope that your body holds out long enough to find a second life. You step close to the ring again, but this time you don't enter. You bow, not to the crowd, not to your master, but to the version of yourself who never quit, even when every part of you wanted to, because the hardest fight in sumo isn't against another man. It's against the life the sport demands of you. You were told it was an honor to be a sumo wrestler, and it is, but now you know the truth. Honor has a cost, and sometimes it's everything.